Well, you know, here at ABC 15, we are dedicated to keeping you heart healthy, which is why we've teamed up with Mayo Hospital for our Rally for Red campaign. Well, today I want you to meet cardiologist Dr. John Sweeney, right over there. That's a little round of applause. I don't know why, I just felt like that. And cardiothoracic surgeon Dr. Louis Lanza. And they are excited to share with us a new procedure that helps those who need valve replacement surgery. And I know there's a technical name for it, Dr. Sweeney. What do you call it?
The condition that we're treating with this valve is called aortic stenosis. And that is the valve that leads from the heart to the aorta, which provides blood to the entire body. Becomes narrowed over time. It becomes thick and calcified and then obstructed and narrowed.
That is a pretty important valve.
It is a very important valve.
Yes.
It can lead to deaths and early mortality for patients who could otherwise be treated.
Can you get this at any age?
This particular valve, or aortic stenosis,
yes.
It's typically associated as you get older. This particular kind of calcific aortic stenosis. Definitely a condition of aging.
Really? Okay. We've often heard about, well, I guess what would the symptoms be if somebody has aortic stenosis?
The symptoms that concern us in patients that suffer from aortic stenosis are typically three. Patients who start to have chest pain, patients who get short of breath, or a patient who passes out. Once we have those symptoms, then all of a sudden they're in a different category that we need to act on it and either treat them surgically or perhaps with this new procedure we're going to be talking about a little bit later.
All right, so Dr. Lanza, what are the treatment options then for this disease?
Well, I think it's important
It's actually not really a disease, is it? It's a condition, isn't
well,
it?
it's a disease of the heart valves.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
It's considered a disease of the heart valves. I think it's important for patients, potential patients, to realize that we've had very good treatment options for this particular condition for over 50 years. Surgeons have successfully been able to replace these valves, and we've done it successfully with about 98 to 99% of patients that go through these surgeries living a long and healthy life for very many years.
Well, I'm sorry. What I wanted to point out is traditionally the procedure was open heart surgery, cutting through the sternum, and very, very invasive.
Right, and I brought a little model of the heart here just to demonstrate somewhat how that procedure has been done for the last 50 years, up until very recently. This is a model of the heart, and the aortic valve sits right at the base of this large blood vessel, which is called the ascending aorta. So surgeons have been able to, using the heart-lung machine, open up this blood vessel, look directly down on that valve, and using surgical instruments, we're able to remove that valve and then replace it with a new valve that functions very well for upwards of 20 to 30 years. And this is an example of a typical valve that we would put in a patient surgically.
Wow. Now let's talk about the newest procedure. Tell me what is it called?
Well,
and let's take we're going to actually, would you like us to roll that? You have some interesting animation to help explain it.
We're going to look at that a little bit later, but there it is. There it is.
Here's an illustration or an animation of a stenotic aortic valve. And what we do with this procedure is we actually go up through the aorta with this TAVR valve, which I'll show you guys in a second when we're done. I have one in my hand. And we place it across the existing valve, inflate a balloon that the valve is actually mounted on. That's that balloon going up. The valve is actually deployed at that point, and then we actually remove the balloon and the valve is left behind, now functioning essentially like a normal valve. And as it rotates around, you'll see how beautifully the valve is opening now, more like a normal aortic valve would be at that point.
Wow.
So it provides an option for patients that otherwise might not be able to undergo a surgical operation because they were sick or had very high-risk features that would make them really high risk for regular surgery.
And that applies to upwards of about 1 out of 3 patients that have aortic stenosis.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So, I mean, there's a lot of benefits. Now we're talking, you know, less downtime, you know, quicker recovery, and options for patients who couldn't have had this valve replaced before. Is that correct?
Right.
And the procedure is called what?
It's called TAVR.
TAVR.
Yeah, that's transcatheter aortic valve replacement.
Okay.
Here's that valve too, so you can kind of compare the.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the valve that's placed on the balloon, and it's a stent with a valve sewn to the inside of it, and it's squished down onto the balloon, and then the balloon's inflated, deploys the valve, and we leave the valve behind.
That is unbelievable. it's almost surreal to even think about, but I get it. Thank you for explaining this to us. It makes a lot of sense, and I think the idea now is to be heart healthy. So we don't have to visit you guys. No offense. No offense. Okay. We appreciate you, bud. Okay. So ABC 15 is teaming up with the Mayo Clinic for Rally for Red campaign. Each month on the 15th, actually, we're going to give you tips and tricks and ideas to help keep you and your loved one's heart healthy. To learn more and to get our Rally for Red reminders, sign up at abc15.com/Rally for Red. And Dr. Sweeney, Dr. Lanza, thank you very much for coming in.
Our pleasure.
You
Thanks for having
are so
us.
welcome.